Hey families, it is me, Mr. K. I just wanted to make this quick video to make sure that we are all on the same page. This right here is Class Dojo, so one of the things that would be really helpful is to make sure that you are connected with Class Dojo. I have been told that we are at about 96% families connected, so it looks like in Core 1, students who start with me in the morning are at a 96% in terms of their family being connected to our class. If you and your child start with Mr. Mask, we're at 95%, DePeel 95%, and Miss Callum 95%. So we're only missing a few families in the 7th grade, but please, 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 please sign into Class Dojo. One of the things that is going to be super helpful is you understanding how your student or your child earns and gets points, because these points really matter for incentives like going to DC, dressing down, Fun Friday. All of the fun that we can have at Henderson Hopkins starts right here with Dojo and how your child is behaving. Your child is late as of 9:07 because our school day in 7th grade actually starts at 9 o'clock. Our school day actually starts at 9 o'clock with homeroom, and teachers are giving assignments during homeroom. Your child has 7 minutes to socialize, finish up with their eating in the hallway. If it's a snack, they went to the corner store, whatever. It is what it is. They have 7 minutes to go to the bathroom, get their water, close their locker, whatever it happens to be. But they have 7 minutes to take care of that. And then they will be tardy and lose a point. But this is how we get points. Walking in the hallway like we're supposed to, upholding our SOAR values, open-minded, accountable, relentless, scholarly, all of that. Now, the negative. We're a tech-free school. Unless it's an iPad that a teacher gave your student to do some schoolwork, or a laptop that is provided by the school, by the teacher to complete work, we're a tech-free school. Earpods, earbuds, knickknacks, paddywhacks, Apple Watches, Android watches, iPhones, yellow phones, blue phone, no phones, no tech. Students should not be bringing iPads to school, Kindles, jitterbugs, ladybugs, any bug. None of it should be brought to school. We're a tech-free environment unless the teacher is providing the tech to your child. I do want to zero in on this right here because you might read the report and say, well, what is this right? Right number one is a right to be heard. So if your child is cutting somebody off, in conversation or not listening to somebody, they could lose a point. We all have a right to be heard at Henderson Hopkins. The right to hear directions clearly. If a teacher is going over directions and your student is talking in the middle of those directions meant to help them, they can lose a point, and that's what right 2 is. Right 3 is a right to be respected. We have a right at Henderson Hopkins. You have a right to make sure that your body is respected. People should not be touching you without your consent. People should not be messing with your things, your pencil, your paper, your binder, your trapper, your locker, your lunch. You have a right to be respected. You have a right to have your person, your belongings respected. But this also applies to teachers if students are being disrespectful or openly defiant, right? Right number 4, we have a right to a safe and positive learning environment. So if your child or your student is throwing things or just being unsafe at school, they could lose a point because we have a right to show up to school and feel like we're in a safe environment where positivity flows and positivity abounds. Lastly is right 5. If your child or student is caught in a lie, they'll get a right 5 violation because we have a right to hear the truth at Henderson and we have a right to tell the truth at Henderson. And naturally, you can see all the other ways that students can lose points. Again, these points matter because at the end of the month, at the end of a week, students need an 85% overall positive behavior from Monday until Friday at about 2 o'clock in order to participate in Fun Friday. Last week, we did unfortunately have some students in Friday detention, but they served their detention from 3 to 4 o'clock during the school day. They had an assignment to complete while they reflected on their poor behavior. We did have about 7 students in detention, so while that's not a high number, that is still 7 too many. So please make sure you are talking with your student about the best way to stay focused, the best way to stay on task. I also want to draw your attention to this. This is iReady. One of the things to note here for iReady is that for ELA, as I've been posting, 3 lessons must be done on iReady English Language Arts. It'll say reading. Your student needs to complete 3 reading lessons on iReady each week with an accuracy rate, meaning they pass the lesson with an 80% or better. Here's why this is important. 7th grade is crucial crucial for composite scores and just long-term development in reading and math, critical thinking, analysis, research, all of that. If you want your child to get into City, Poly, Western, Dunbar, Mervo, some of these high-performing schools, it is going to be critical that your student does these iReady lessons, which are their homework for the year, for the weeks ahead. This is their homework. Here's the other reason why it's critical. I'm sure as I've been talking, you can see the bar graph right here. In 7th grade right now, literally as of today, we only have 4 students who are reading at a mid-year 7th grade level or past that. We only have 4 students right now in the entire 7th grade who are reading at a beginning 7th grade level. We have 14 students reading at a 6th grade level. This makes sense. They just finished the 6th grade a few months ago for all intents and purposes, so this makes sense. But then notice this number right here. 7 plus 41 equals 48. We have 48 students, more than half, as you can see. More than half of the 7th grade is reading 2 or more grades below grade level, but then this glaring number, 41. 41 students are reading at a 4th grade level or lower. And yes, we do have a handful of students reading at the kindergarten level. I do not say this to shame you. I do not say this to shame our kids. I say this because it is going to light a fire in me, just as it should light a fire in you and your child, to make sure that we make sure that this number goes away. Reading is so critical and fundamental to long-term life success, and I think everybody watching this video knows how hard a city Baltimore is to grow up in. It's even harder when we struggle with early literacy and reading skills. It takes all of us to make sure that we are doing our best to help our kids with basic reading literacy skills. This number is way too high. It will be a struggle this year if your child is reading at a 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, or kindergarten grade level in English class. Now, yes, I will do my best to scaffold the information, to differentiate the information, to make sure that your child gets what they need. But if they are not doing these lessons at home, if they are not taking the homework seriously, your child will continue to grow because they are actively engaged, but the gap will never decrease. It will never decrease. Something has to be done at home. iReady lessons, working on vocabulary, reading, those will help close the gap. But if all we do is rely on school, the gap will always exist even as your kid goes up, because the expectations also go higher as well. So I just wanted to make everybody aware that when you go to Clever, this is the app that you're looking for so that your child can log into iReady. This is the app that we can see so that your child can log into iReady. This is Class Dojo so that you can look at their behavior. And if you need the code to join a teacher's Class Dojo, please send a message or text the school, send your kid with a note. We would gladly love to have you connected, but please take a look at their behavior. Infinite Campus is for grades. So again, if you log into Infinite Campus, you can see how your child is doing in their individual classes as far as their grades. Class Dojo is for behavior, and iReady is going to tell us how your student is performing with specific reading or math skills. Lastly, I just wanted to point out that we are going to start using Rhythm in 7th grade. Rhythm is for mental health check-ins to see how your child is doing. The questions are emoji based, so when your child clicks on Rhythm, they ultimately are going to be asked to answer a series of questions, and the app will look a little bit like this when it logs in. We had students work on this today, and it was a great time. Students will come to Rhythm, and they'll click on Get in Rhythm. When they first start, this is the very first question. What is it like in your head today? I have a pretty clear mind, so I feel good. We're also going to ask students to type a response when they do this. Then it will move on to the next question. And again, notice how these are all emoji-based questions. Our expectation in the 7th grade is that students are doing their best to answer all 5 questions, but to type a response to 2 of them so that we can get in touch with our feelings, understand why we're feeling that way, and really setting ourselves up for success. Again, iReady, how they're doing with the skills and knowledge, Class Dojo behavior, Infinite Campus grades, and just a social emotional check-in so that we can make sure that our kids are happy, healthy. Okay, and that's called Rhythm. If you have any questions, please reach out to me or any of your child's teachers, and we would be happy to help support you this year. We look forward to seeing you at Back to School Night on Thursday, September 19th from 6 to 7 o'clock. That's the middle school time. Have a great night, folks. Really appreciate you.